you. This is the first annual Millennials on Melrose Comedy Festival 2019. All right, welcome. Thanks for coming, you guys. We had movies earlier. Movies that started at 4. We saw a bunch of short films. Michael judged those. Michael, our producer, and so you'll hear the winner of that. And now, what's coming up for you guys is, if you guys didn't know what's been happening, is every week we've had people come out here on this very stage, and they perform 3 to 5 minutes. And the best set of the night has won $50. And we have, yes, $50. And now, the people that have won the $50 are all here tonight, and they are going to compete. The best set of the night tonight is going to win $500. That's a lot of money, right? Would you like $500? Yes, you would, of course you would. So, it's a fantastic show. We've got a great, I picked a lot of these guys myself. We have our other judges here that Michael will introduce that's also picked it, and I think we have picked a fantastic show for you tonight. So if you are here to see the show, you guys are in for a real treat. And now I'm going to bring up the producer of the show, the creator of You Are Funny and Millennials on Melrose, Michael Pena, ladies and gentlemen. Good job. He works hard. All right. I was going to say without further ado, but he hates when I say without further ado. So I had to say it. Anyway, so I want to thank everybody for being here. Right now, before we begin the show, I want to tell all the contestants, you did fucking amazing. Thank you for coming here. All right. Yes, man. So I also want to thank all the judges who are here tonight. I'm going to introduce them for you, and maybe they can stand up and wave out, and we'll give them time to talk at the end of the show. Okay, so right now our first that we have here working for us is Bill Devlin, who's one of our judges every week. He works hard every week. We have he works at the Hollywood Improv, as many as you know, and you know what? When you guys do the sets, comedians, remember he books shows, and now he's booked a couple people on his shows. So keep doing it because you're going to get on more shows. Keep doing that, right? So now we have also Jonathan Piñas back here from Comic Last Standing, or Last Standing Comic, I don't know which one it is. He also has been one of our resident judges for a long time in helping us. And we also have Tuesday Thomas over here who has an amazing show. Her show is called Freak Show LA. If you want to see some dark comedy that has a twist, Freak Show LA, make sure you go. It's a beautiful Globe Theater, okay? Beautiful Globe Theater. Yes, it's in Vegas, right? Yeah, Vegas. She does it everywhere. Okay, so we have 2 amazing judges that came last year for the first time. They decided to come back. They're both very successful writers in the Writers Guild. One is Gina Wendkos, right here on Princess Diaries and How Is Ugly. She warned me that I can't tell anybody how much money she made, but it was around $200 million. No. So I said it anyway. I'm a bad boy, as you can tell. Okay, so then we have Alison Dale. And also, she writes, she does a lot of shows for the handicap group. We'll talk about it later. Yep. The disabilities group. And she also has done a lot of TV sitcoms. And she also came up with the name Millennial on Melrose. So that's why we have this name. So thank you very much for doing this for us. What happened was after the last show, she had so much fun. We had a big talk, and she really said she wanted to help us again. So that's why she's here. And also, she wanted to come up with a name, and I thought it was a brilliant name. Okay, so also I want to say that I want to thank everybody who's come here, because I've seen a lot of people who come to our show on a weekly basis. I have some 2 amazing friends in front here. Okay, they're my neighbors. These are my neighbors. I tried to here, but they're my neighbors from 4 years ago in Phoenix. Okay, but I still call them my neighbors, okay, because they are my neighbors. All right, so that means in your heart you always have neighbors. Just remember that. Okay, so we're going to start this show. We have we had a headliner. We have a halftime show. That means we're going to have a 5-minute break, about 50 minutes into the show, so that the judges can go to the bathroom and they don't have any issues. And also the comedians in the back can go to the bathroom, because I know that's what they're doing anyways. So then we can move on. Okay, so we're going to have a halftime show. Then we have our grand finale with somebody who won $500, and then we're going to have a closer. Okay, he'll be here as well. So we'll actually have a great show. So I can't wait to see how all it happens. And I'm going to slow down talking. Nope, never going to happen. But I've been practicing all the names, okay, so I don't mess up. Because I have this tendency of saying things wrong. None of them believe me, okay? So, is Edward Mozart here? I didn't see him. I didn't think so. Is Little Bra here? Okay. We're going to have Liam M. We're going to have Anya Malik. We have Josh Edelman. And we have Melissa Hamilton. See, I did. Oh my God, I messed up. Alan. I know. Jesus. I try to be perfect. Anyway, so right now, let's give it up for our opener. Is going to be Stephanie Clark.
Big old welcome, you guys. Good to be here. The Mom Fest. I thought I was expecting to hang out with a bunch of moms, but no, doesn't look like there's any of that. I'm happy to be here. Happy to be away from my husband. No, he's great. He's a rescue. It's about giving back, picking him up at the shelter. I'm like, that's the one. Coming to Big Mama. And the judges are on the couch, nice and comfy. I love that. Anyone on a date night? Just the neighbors here? My husband and I, we met online. You guys meet online? No, we met in high school? No. School, just middle school. You have a different story? We have time. We have like hours. Well, my husband and I, we met online. We met on Yelp. Yeah. He left me a bad review and I tracked him down. I like a man that plays hard to get, We just celebrated our 4-year wedding anniversary. Thank you, appreciate that. To celebrate, we got a little crazy. We had sex in the car. Fun for us. Awkward for our Lyft driver. Gave us 2 stars. Feel like we deserve better than that. I have a day job. I work at a really fancy restaurant in LA. It's very exclusive. It's called Chili's. I work at Chili's, you guys. I get a lot of customer complaints because I'm kind of sassy, but I figured out how to handle it. If a customer asks to speak to my manager, I tell them no. And good luck finding him or her, because we're all wearing the same fugly shirt. I try to stay busy. I was working at a comedy club last week before my set. This lady's waving me over. I was like, wow, cool. She's a fan of my comedy. Nope, she thought I was her server. And she gave me her entire food order, and I took it, because that's funny. And then I got on stage, and I was like, you didn't get your wings, huh? Yeah, I don't work here. Probably never work in that club again. And it's not that lady's fault, because some people have that resting bitch face, we all know people like this, right? We work with people like this, it looks like they're just constantly smelling a fart, I have the opposite of that. I have resting server face, because I've worked at restaurants for 15 years, I look very helpful. I look like I know where all the bathrooms are, like right this way. And I do, but that's because I have IBS, so. It's my one poop joke. Every comic should have one, and that's my baby, It's a real piece of shit. I like working in a bar because of Big Boozer. Are we drinking up tonight? Yeah? Got a little wine over here. Love it. I'm a tequila girl myself. I love tequila. Well, I used to like it. It makes my clothes fall off from vomiting all over myself. I'm a bit of a disaster. I went to one of these hipster bars recently where you order a drink based on your mood. Based on my mood, cool. I've always wondered what depression tastes like. Bud Light. Tastes like disgusting ass Bud Light. My favorite to drink is a warm cocktail in the morning, looking out the window when it's raining. Makes my drive to work go by much quicker. I don't really work at Chili's. I work at a pub, and I don't get starstruck, because I'm from LA, but I did once. I waited on Brad Pitt. Yeah, it was a big deal to me. The first movie that got me all hot and bothered was Benjamin Button. And they ordered fish and chips, so we know who likes the pussy. Little see-through joke for ya. Test the waters. I had a customer die in a ditch on me last week. Isn't that mean? He went out for a smoke. I'm like, sir, I need your credit card, for collateral. He's like, no, that's my flip phone. I'm like, yeah, your bill is worth more than that. What he did was he left a fake phone. That's a scam. He leaves fake phones at bars so he can eat and drink for free. And that makes me so mad, that I didn't come up with that. That's a good idea. It's smart. My favorite regular is a famous porn star, and she'll come in like 12 in the afternoon, already hammered. And I always wonder if it's like before or after her shift, Do they call it shift in porn? I don't know. They probably call it like shaft. Like I worked a double shaft today. And she's such a big fan of my drinks, so she's such a big fan of my cocktails. I watched like 10 of her movies, you know, because as like artists, it's about respecting each other's creative work, you know. Like she'll compliment my sex on the beach, and I'll compliment her sex on the beach, and the highway, and the doctor's office. I work at an English bulldog theme pub, which is perfect for me because I rescued a bulldog a couple of years ago. Anyone rescue pets here? Yeah? One guy, everyone else gets their dogs at the mall like monsters. Who said yeah?
Us.
Oh, us? You guys? Oh, nice. What do you guys have?
Two very annoying but beautiful little mixtures.
Two annoying little mixed coyotes, maybe?
No,
Coyote.
half the town greyhound and half chihuahua.
Oh, cute. Oh, that's an interesting combo. I wonder like how that one went down. What's that?
We had no idea what that's going to do.
Yeah. What boy or girl?
One of each.
What are their names?
George and Abby.
George and Abby. We have an Abby. Yeah, Abigail. I think with the bulldogs, you either have to have like an old lady's name, you know, or a stripper name. So it's like Beatrice or Sugar Tits. So we have an Abby. I think more people would adopt animals if shelters had bars, right? I can just imagine friends comparing drunk rescue stories at brunch, you know? Like, oh my God, Kathy, I got so hammered last night, I adopted like 3 Italian greyhounds. You think that's bad? I rode you on a horse. All I do is hang out with my dog and binge watch TV. I love prison shows, like Locked Up and 60 Days In. I was watching this one prison show, and this lady was on death row, and she spent her last hours eating nachos, singing Amazing Grace and crying. I was like, oh my God, that sounds like what I do after every comedy show. I love binge watching the show Cops, because it makes me feel better about myself, you know. I was watching this one episode of Cops, and this drunk was passed out in some bushes wearing a number 1 dad shirt. I thought, you know what? Maybe I can be a mom. I could do that for sure. Let's get political for a second. I'll never see you people again. Why not? Are you guys for or you against cyberbullying? For it? Everyone else is pretty indifferent. I'm for it too, sir, because I do it all the time. I cyberbullied my ex-boyfriend on Facebook, you know? He recently posted a picture with his family with a caption that said, "Family's everything," and I commented, "So's child support money. Take it up." Douchebag. He drove me all the way to Bakersfield to break up with me. I was like, isn't that punishment in itself? You know? And this before Lyft or Uber, so I'm stuck driving all the way back to LA with him. I'm just trying to say mean things to him to break his heart, the way he broke mine. I'm like, you're a bad kisser, and so is your dad. He still messages me, did you make out with my papa? I'm like, yeah, and your mama. Banged your whole family. They all suck. I don't miss being single though, you know, because when you're single, you have to worry about STDs. No, just me? Okay, great. It's so uncomfortable to ask somebody if they're clean or not, you know, so here's what I would do when I was single. I'd work backwards, I'd sleep with a guy, and then right after, I'd tell him that I had like gonorrhea, and based on his reaction, I would know if I was still clean or not. Yeah, this would usually work, and the guys would just cry. Except one time the guy was like, "Whoa, haven't done that one yet." And that's how I met my husband. You guys have been great. I'm Steph Clark, enjoying the festival. Good luck to everybody. Have fun.
Give a big hand for Steph Clark. So let you know, all of our openers are people who tour and who are actually doing shows with improv, all these places. They come do it for free. So give them a big hand for coming and doing a show for us. And they really enjoy being part of this group, rising group of comedians who are learning the craft, fine-tuning it, and winning cash. My cash. Anyway, but winning cash nonetheless, so that's great. Okay, so let's go through the list. We're going to start the competitive time of the show now. So we're going to go through the list, and I'll name out 4 names so the comedians are ready. The reason why we do this is so that we can make the show move as quickly as possible. So comedians, please be ready. And I haven't breathed yet. Okay, so now let's move on. So we have, coming up now, we have Liam M. We have Anya Malik. We have Josh Edelman. We have Alice Hamilton. And we have Rose Silverman. So right now, let's give it up for our first competitor of the night, Liam M.
Thank you. I am here because I won last week, and Mike still owes me $10, so I thought I'd show up and collect at some point, maybe. A round of applause. Who here is not a comedian or a judge? Great. Great. By another round of applause, who here likes dogs? Sexually. Oh. Now I know who's judging me. Great. My mom is Jewish, and my dad is Irish Catholic, so I was raised passive and aggressive. I am half Jewish, and that entire half is in my face. So, do not be fooled, I cannot do your taxes, sir. I cannot do your taxes. I was born with the Irish head for business and the Jewish body for fighting. So, I do have an Irish family, and I was disappointed when I found out that Notre Dame, the college football team, are called the Fighting Irish, because I watched them play, and I thought they would fight the way my Irish family does, which is they start a scrimmage, and then they don't talk to each other for 16 years. All that is to say, I don't care who wins or loses, as long as it's not Josh Edelman because he's Jewish and they have enough money. Oh boy. I did not prepare. I'm from New York City. Thank you. Hold your applause to the end. New York City school system had a program where they would send a uniformed officer into our classroom twice a year to talk to us about drugs. And the guy would come with a briefcase filled with drug samples. And he would explain what each one was, what each one would do to us, and how much each one would cost. And I was never sure if this guy was supposed to tell us that drugs were bad, or if he was some kind of traveling drug salesman. Because he'd say, like, all right, kids, this here is cocaine. Now, you may have heard that cocaine's a fun party drug, but take it from me, it's very expensive. A lot of people have lost their houses and their cars using it. That's why they switched to crack. It gets you high, but it's only $5 a hit. This is marijuana or weed. Now your friends are going to try to tell you that the marijuana is not that bad for you, just because it's not addictive and it does no long-term damage. This is acid or LSD. Now I'm going to tell you kids a story about a boy not much older than yourselves who was at a party and decided to try the acid for the first time. And he thought he could fly. And he saw a moonbeam coming in through the window. And he thought he could climb that moonbeam to heaven. Then he wrote a song about it and made $8 million. That's the late. Thank you very much. Bye. Anyone but able to. Give it a job for a leader. Yeah, man.
So he brought it home. Let's keep bringing it home. We're going to go through the list. Anya Malik, Josh Edelman, Alice Hamilton, Rose Toberman, Connor Henselman, and Mike Merritt. So right now, let's give it for Anya Malik.
Man, wow, thanks for doing this. I appreciate y'all doing this for the comedians. Thanks, Mom. I've been performing for a while. I won't tell y'all how long I've been performing, but me and microphones have one of the relationships where we've been together so long we start to look like each other. I'm a black comedian. Obviously, I'm a black comedian, which is a lot to unpack. There's a lot going on right there. I'm a black man in America, which means my ancestors endured the hardships and the heinous conditions of chattel slavery. And I'm a comedian, which means I've experienced firsthand what it's like to work for no money, while others exploit you, making tens, hundreds, even thousands of dollars off your abilities, you know. Thank goodness nobody ever told my ancestors on the plantation that they had to bring 5 people. They said no dumbass shit like, it's gonna be industry in the field today. No, they just made you breed 5 people. Don't laugh too much. I'm from Oakland, California. Live in Hollywood now. Living in Oakland, I've been exposed to a lot of drug addicts, dope fiends. There's a lot more dope fiends in Hollywood than I was expecting. What Hollywood has in dope fiends that nowhere, I don't think, has this, is dope fiends that are willing to dress up as fictional characters to support their habit. I didn't know that it was, and not saying all the people on Hollywood Boulevard that dress up as fictional characters are on drugs, but if you are not careful, you could see a minion on meth on Hollywood Boulevard. I saw Wolverine dude doing heroin on the steps of the Jimmy Kimmel spot, and he didn't even take his claws off, which was scandalous. Because I'm like, bro, all you had to do is take your claws off, and then you just like a regular sideburns wife beater dude doing what sideburn wife beater dudes do. But the claws, you ruined your dreams, and that ain't what Stan Lee had in mind. You lucky Senator Kelly wasn't here to see him. Hollywood Boulevard, the only place you can see Batman sell drugs to the Joker. I saw it. It was like the Adam West Batman, dude. You put drugs in your hand, like, boom, crack. Craziest thing I saw in Hollywood was a black Scientologist. I saw a black Scientologist, which was wild for me. Because I don't know, like, I was just looking like how they get you. Not like they left a box of blunts out and hit you over the head with a net or something. Now you clear now or whatever. I'm just saying, black folks, we don't just hand over the keys to our spirituality like that. You know, so much we work over the spirit. We gotta at least have like a riveting speaker with like a fly suit. We gotta have a suit that's coming with some colors that are not normal for suits. I'm like looking at the black Scientologists like, man, maybe they got something for us. Maybe they got like a science televangelist spitting that L. Ron Hubbard guy. And L. Ron Hubbard said in the book of Dianetics, if a man loves his woman and jumping on a couch on national television, let that man's bookability and feature films never come asunder. They said the mission was impossible. They said Jack couldn't reach around. Turn to your neighbor, do a stress test. Do a stress test. I'm out here with you guys. Thank you so much.
The trend is going. People are coming to win $500. Good job. I'm in the lead. Getting through this list. We have Josh Edelman. We have Melissa Hamilton. Alice Hamilton. We have Rose Toberman. We have Connor Hengelsman. We have Mike Merrick. And then we're going to go one step below because 2 people dropped out. So Carlisle Forrester and then Cole Alexander. So right now, let's give it up for Josh Edelman.
Thank you, Michael. Thank you all. Oh man, I'm getting older, guys. Turned 34 recently. I feel like as I've gotten older, the only thing that's really changed is that my hangovers have become more intense. Not so much physically as emotionally. I just get a lot more depressed now when I'm hungover. And I can't decide if it's the alcohol affecting me more or if I just have more to be depressed about now. Because like when I was young, I didn't have that much to be depressed about. You know, I'd wake up and be like, whatever, you're young, you're single, you live with a bunch of roommates, you don't have a job relying on you for anything. Life is great, you have your whole life ahead of you. But now when I wake up with a hangover, I'm like, oh my God, I'm 34, I'm single, I live with a bunch of roommates, I don't have a job relying on me for anything. This is fucking depressing. I used to be a professional magician. I used to do that for a little while. Whenever people find out I'm a magician, they always ask me the same question. Can you please stop bothering us? We don't want to see a magic trick. Thank you. Became a comedian. My dad loves that. You know, I kind of feel like every year that goes by, my dad becomes more and more desperate for reasons to be proud of me. Like, he really wants to be proud of me, but he just needs a reason. It's like the last time I was visiting him in the middle of dinner, completely out of the blue, he just goes, "I'll say this. I never had to bail you out of prison." Like, that's where his bar has been set for me. My mom's like the complete opposite of him, though. She's like delusionally proud of me. She can find a reason to be proud of me no matter what I do. Like, I could have been a school shooter, my mom would have been like, "What an incredible shot my son is. Did you see he killed the most kids? He looks so handsome in his mugshots on the TV. Is your daughter single? I can set you up. My son is famous, you know." True story, true story. I made a web series a couple years ago, spent way too much time, way too much money on it. It has like 300 views an episode. Unsurprising part of the story. Anyway, I'm at a family friend's house with my parents, and my mom starts bragging about the show to them. This is an exact quote. She goes, "Guys, you have to watch Josh's web series. I'm not just saying this because I'm his mother, but it's the best thing I've ever seen." The best thing I've ever seen. So not only is my mother delusional, but she also has incredible taste in web series. My dad doesn't get it. He doesn't get the whole comedy thing. Every time I talk to him on the phone, he says the same thing. He goes, "When are you going to get a real job, Josh?" And I'm like out here working hard trying to pursue my dreams, but every time I talk to him, it's just, "When are you going to get a real job?" And it's just like, "Dad, can you please just give me some more money?" It's tough being broke, you know? Tough being unemployed. But I kind of like it, you know? I kind of like being unemployed. The way I see it, being unemployed is kind of like being your own boss, except your boss is constantly giving you hand jobs. And buying you weed, even though buying weed has been sinking the company. Fucking sucks getting older. One of the hardest realizations I've had to deal with as I've gotten older is that I'm probably not as good looking as my mother told me I was growing up. Just been collecting evidence over the years, and that's the conclusion I've come to. Like, you guys have no idea how many of the women I've slept with have made me turn out all the lights before they'd have sex with me. Actually, not that many, but also all of them. I think the most damning piece of evidence, though, is I have this 90-year-old suspiciously horny landlord who clearly wants to have sex with all my roommates but wants nothing to do with me. The other day she was at my house and she needed something lifted into her car, and I was like, "I can help you with that, Shirley." She's like, "No, I'll just wait for Daniel to help. He's so strong. He's like a little Superman." I'm like, "Daniel's out of town." Then she just picked the thing up, put it in her car, and left. And my female roommate is always asking us, like, hypothetically, would you fuck Shirley if she promised to give you the house after she died? And all my roommates are like, "I just couldn't. She's just too disgusting. I couldn't bring myself to do it." Meanwhile, I'm like, I'll fuck Shirley just to prove to myself I can. Like, I'm not worried about the value of our house. I'm concerned with my value as a man. All right, thank you very much, everybody. I'm Josh Hart.
Get it up for Josh Edelman. All right. Keeping the roll going. What do you guys think about these comedians? What do you think? On par, right? All right, so let's go through the list. So right now we're going to have Alice Hamilton, then we have Ross Toberman, then we have Connor Hengelsben, Mike Merritt, Carlisle Forrester, Cole Alexander, and then we're going to take a 5-minute potty break, okay? Because us old people need this. So right now, let's give it up for Alice Hamilton!
I am from Portland, Oregon, and I love living in Los Angeles. I'm not going to shit on it, but there is one little thing about living in LA that I've just never been able to get used to, and that is the number of people who genuinely believe that astrology is real. Astrology is fucking bullshit. I had someone ask me for my sign during a job interview. I was like, "I don't know my sign, but I'm gonna go ahead and take this as a sign that I don't want to fuck you. Give me my resume back. I'm from Portland. I sound like I'm from Portland. The worst part about having this speaking voice is that it makes some white people think that they can use the N-word around me. They're wrong. It's like, seriously, Trevor? Do you want to apologize? Do you want to talk about slavery at your mom's birthday party? Because I will ruin this evening. Don't try me. I had this one white boy say nigga, immediately called him out on it. His excuse was, oh, I'm always around black people. And I was like, the least you could do is say you're friends with us. Don't be mean about it. I'm not a huge fan of the sound of my own voice, just because I'm painfully aware that, like, in combination with the way that I talk, I just don't sound like the blackest person that ever lived, and that is no more apparent than when I'm using the N-word in public. People genuinely freak out. Like, I'll just be at the store with my little sister, and she's an adult, but she's like 5'1", and she'll be like, Alice, can you grab me a Gatorade off the top shelf? I can't reach it. And then I'll just be like, get your own Gatorade. And they freak out. I mean, they freak out if I'm in like a Whole Foods. If I'm in Walmart, they're just like, you tell them, and they keep walking. I told that joke to a friend of mine, and my friend goes, Gatorade nigger sounds like the worst flavor of Gatorade. And I was like, no, it doesn't. It sounds like a job. Like, welcome to the Team Johnson. There's Coach Curtis. That's Assistant Coach Michaels. There's the Gatorade nigger, and that's the ball boy. So glad to have you on the team. My mom is white and my dad is black, and I don't know if you could tell by that last joke, but they're both fucking racist. And like, see, my dad said to me once that he was nervous that the country was gonna have too many brown people, and I was like, nigga, you had 5 kids. You can't have 5 half-black kids, then turn around and be like, gee, sure is getting pretty ethnic around here. Like, that's on you. You did that. My mom, she doesn't want to talk about the fact that she's racist. She's like, can't we have a relationship where we just don't talk about certain things? And I was like, yeah, if you hate cats and I love cats, then we can have a whole relationship where we just never talk about cats. But if you hate cats and I'm a cat, that shit's gonna come up. Like I'm a cat, Mom, you know? I mean, like I'm half cat. But when you're half cat, everybody just treats you like you're full cat. Except for other full cats who are like, man, you ain't even a cat, can you please? No respect within the cat community whatsoever. My name's Alison Dale.
All right, let's keep this ball rolling. This feels good, everybody. Let's keep it going. You guys notice I've been practicing my Mexican soccer call, right? I just wanted to know, okay. So we have the rest of us in line. We have Rose Toberman, Connor Hangelsman, Mike Merritt, we have Carlisle Forrester, and then we have Cole Alexander. So right now, let's give a big hand for Rose Toberman.
You almost slipped. You almost called me Ross again. Wait, you wrote the Princess Diaries? Fangirl moment. Oh my gosh, you ruined my childhood, by the way, because I was just waiting for my grandmother to show up and tell me I was a princess for so long. Still kind of am. Still waiting for it. I feel like I'm the only one in the room, though. That's like probably the age that was when that movie came out. That was like perfect timing. I recently turned 25, so I'm going through a very severe quarter-life crisis. It's a thing. It's a real thing. I'm miserable all the time, even though I have nothing to complain about at all whatsoever. I have a nice car, I have a nice job, I have like friends I actually enjoy their company around, you know? I mean, my dad's dead, but other than that, like I have nothing to complain about. I'm an American white lady who's living in LA. Like, I have one strike against me, and that's that I'm female, and even like Ruth Bader Ginsburg did quite a bit for us. So why am I complaining? I have nothing to complain about. So I've been out here for like 2.5 years now. I've survived LA. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, that deserves an applause, okay? I'm from Minnesota, and I know so many people who like moved out here and they lived here for like a year and just thought that they were going to become famous overnight, so then they had to move back home. And I moved out here and I was like, I'm going to get myself a regular job and just fucking stay here. I'm never going back to Minnesota. My family wasn't expecting me to like last out here as long as I have though, especially my sister. She was like really concerned about my dating life too. She was like, Rose, you know in Minnesota 7 is in LA too. Okay. Well, good thing I'm in Minnesota 8, and that hasn't helped me at all, so I think my chances out in LA are a lot better anyways. Really though, dating out in Minnesota, like it's like dating in a dry pond. You're happy if anything bites. You're just relieved. But for real, we have one dating app, it's Meet Another Super Realtor, and it's just for lesbians. It got so bad that in high school, I had to date my stalker. His name was Chase. And I still dated him. Even though the red flag was right there. But then I moved out here and I was like, oh, this is not any better. This is like dating in a cesspool. There's options, but none of them are great. No, seriously, it's like parking. It's like looking for a parking spot. They're available, you can find them, but they're either too far away, they cost way too much money, or they kick you out after 2 a.m. And the signs are unreadable. I'm like, so I can't stay here for 2 hours, or like only during weekdays, or like on the weekends, I can only stay for an hour, like I don't know. I can't read, and I'm bad at parking, so I've just gotten a lot of bruises and tickets. Dating sucks. Do you guys ever hear your roommate in the other room and wonder if you should be quieter when you masturbate? You're like, oh, well, I wasn't as thick as I thought. If I can hear that, you can probably hear me. I don't even masturbate that much. I told that joke though, and then my friend was like, I masturbate every day. And I was like, that's probably why you're the happiest person I know. Fuck you, bitch. You probably also brush your teeth for 2 minutes and make your bed every morning. And she's like, yes, I do. And I was like, okay. Quarter-life crisis. Creeping in. That's why I'm miserable. Gotta start masturbating, girl. But it's like, why is it in the media, like, women are always in the bath when they do masturbate? Like, we don't talk about it enough. And then when you see it, they're in the bath. And that's just gross. Because, like, how are you supposed to get clean bathing in your own filth? And then you add sploosh into all of that. And like, how is that supposed to make you come? It's just dirty. Well, that doesn't make sense. Dirty is sometimes good. But anyways, so when I do masturbate, even though it's not that often, I do like a normal person, which is in my bed, and then I sleep in it. I'm Rose Toberman, thank you.
Give it up, Rose Toberman. Okay, so what we're going to do. We're going to have Connor, we're going to have Mike Merritt, we're going to have Carlisle Forrester, we're going to have Paul Alexander, and we're going to have a small 5-minute break so the judges can relieve themselves, and me as well. And then we're going to come back, we're going to have an opener with Bree and Martin, okay? And they're going to give us a special halftime set. I hope you guys like it. I saw them. Let's just see what happens. Okay, so let's give it up right now for Connor Hangelsman!
Hey, what's up? I'm also from Minnesota. I think Rose's hotness scale is really fucked up. Because I'm a 10 in Minnesota and I'm a 10 here. So this is real. Right, Michael? Right. He messages me at like 3 in the morning. I know I'm hot. I really like PC culture. I went to a NASCAR race 3 weeks ago, but I love PC culture. Because I like PC culture because I like to watch people make themselves uncomfortable. Like, I was talking to this guy and he was telling me this story, and he was like, I was at this party and there was a couple of hip-hop chicks. I was like, hip-hop chicks, you can say black girls. They prefer that to being called hip-hop chicks. I know it's gonna tell you, like, no one's gonna hear you telling that same story where you're like, I was at this party, there's a couple of black girls. No one's gonna stop you like, sir, you can't say black girls. You have to identify them by the kind of music you assume they listen to. Seriously, no one would see this girl and be like, ah, there's a folk girl right there. Asian girl, K-pop girl. See, I live downtown, downtown Los Angeles, not a politically correct place at all, and downtown is fun. Like, there's always something going on. The craziest thing I've ever seen downtown is I was walking home from the train station, because I'm poor, Gina, and there was... Sorry, I don't want to use your wealth against you. I think I'm better at networking with Gina than the other girls. Like, I loved your movie. This is please, will this make you like me more? Anyways, I was walking downtown, and I was walking downtown. On one side of the street was this homeless man. Back home we call them tweakers, meth addicts. And there was this tweaker. Other side of the street was this Asian couple. And I took 12 steps past the tweaker, and then all of a sudden I heard an Asian girl screaming. And I looked back, and the tweaker's chasing the Asian girl, and then her boyfriend's chasing the tweaker that's chasing his girlfriend. And I'm watching all this happen, and this dude in his car pulls up. He's like, "What's going on, man?" I'm like, "The tweaker's chasing the Asian girl." He's like, "Oh, I got my gun. I'll blast him." Like, that was a casual activity for him. Like, he does it on a regular basis, is just shoot homeless people like he's the exterminator. Like, he got hired to do that. And so he drives in his car, and he pulls up to where the tweaker's at, and he gets out of his car, and he starts, like, running at him. He's like, "You think you can chase the pretty lady, man?" And I'm watching this happen, and then the guy, the homeless people, I don't know, they don't have much. He just had his pants and his belt, so he took off his belt and started whipping at the guy that's running at him. And he's like whipping it, and the guy that's running at him puts his finger up. He's like, "Hold on, just a second." And he like he's a little kid, and he walked back and opened the trunk of his car, and I was like, "Oh, he's gonna get that gun. He's gonna blast him like he promised us. This is the show I paid tickets for. This is better than that fucking Avengers thing any day." And then he goes to the trunk of his car, and instead of a gun, he pulled out a bullwhip. Like a bullwhip, like Indiana Jones, and he was whipping the homeless man from 10 feet back, like a very safe distance. I was watching this, I'm like, we don't need to give the teachers guns, we need to give them those bullwhips. That's what they need. That's very important. And the entire time this is happening, there's a gay black dude narrating the story for me. He's watching this happen, he's like, "Oh, too much, too much." And then when the guy pulled out the bullwhip, he's like, "Oh, that's extra, that's extra." And then someone called the cops, and they sent a helicopter, and he's looking up at the helicopter, he's like, "Oh, we don't need all this, we don't need all this." Yeah. That's why he should, gay black dudes should just narrate, like the news on, like, high-speed chases, like, "Oh, they were live from Chopper 4. I know, I shouldn't have called him a gay black dude. That's not PC. I should have called him a homosexual hip-hop man. All right, cool. Thanks, guys. God bless.
Give it up for Connor! It appears my 3 o'clock testings are working. Okay, so let's move on. So we have Mike Merritt, Carlisle Forrester, and then Cole Alexander. We're going to have a break. So right now, give it up for Mike Merritt!
What the fuck is up, everybody? I know what you're all thinking, yes, I do look like Seth Rogen's rich gay cousin. Fun fact about me is my ex-girlfriend is actually a pretty complicated guy because I hate myself and I often think about what it would be like to be God. So, if I were God, I know exactly what I would do. I wouldn't get rid of world hunger. I wouldn't get rid of Donald Trump. I wouldn't get rid of war. I would do one thing. I would make it so that every time it rains, it sounds like slap bass. It starts drizzling a little bit, it's like, wah. It starts going a little more, it's like, wah, 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 wah. And then finally it starts pouring, it's like, wah, 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 wah. We're watching the Weather Channel. It's like, all right, we got a category 4 sort of leaning towards Florida. On a scale of Bootsy Collins to Herbie Hancock, how funky is this storm? What's on? It's about a flea. Thank you, Bill. Speaking of God complexes, does anybody here like sports? Yeah. I started watching basketball a couple months ago, and I noticed at the end of every game, they always interview the guy who played the best. They always ask him a really stupid question. They're like, LeBron, you just hit the game winner. How do you feel? LeBron just says something kind of boring, like, no, I feel good, but I have to give 110%. This kind of annoyed me. I was like, where's the real question? Like, why doesn't somebody go to LeBron James and be like, LeBron, you had a great game out there, but what do you think about the exploitation of the working class? LeBron's just like, well, I think Marxism works as a serviceable critique of capitalism, but unfortunately doesn't offer any real alternatives. Thank you, LeBron. Next question. The death of God. Let's talk about it. Now that God is dead, how do we find meaning as a culture? He's like, ready for it. And he's just like, well, I don't think we can find a reasonable replacement for God. I do think that we can find meaning and purpose through building communities working towards a common goal. Thank you, LeBron, and lightning, as always. Now, another fun fact about me is I actually grew up very privileged, so if you hate me on principle, I understand. Growing up privileged is people have a lot of ideas about it, but it's actually not as fun as it seems to be. Like, I could go up to my dad and be like, hey, Dad, like, will you spend some time with me? And he'd be like, how about a new bike? Like, Dad, will you pay attention to me? New guitar. So this might not seem that bad, but if you're to take it to a bigger level, it's actually pretty fucked up. Like, my dad ran the Make-A-Wish Foundation, it would be something like this. Be like, little Timmy, what do you want your wish to be? Little Timmy's like, I want my dad to come home from war. Well, guess who's going big game hunting? Little Bobby, what do you want your wish to be? Little Bobby's like, I want to meet the Pope. Someone's going to Las Vegas. I know this is a comedy show, but I'd like to get serious for a minute. Does anybody here watch Stranger Things? Yeah. Who wants to bet that one of those poor kids is going to end up in rehab in less than 10 years? Seriously, making children famous is one of the most fucked up things we do as a society. Look at Amanda Bynes, famous all throughout her childhood, had a mental breakdown in the public eye. Same thing with Shia LaBeouf, so desperate to claim to fame that he plagiarized another man's work, and then after he got caught, spiraled into alcoholism. And then there's Michael Jackson. You all know what happened to Michael Jackson. So I had to ask myself, is making children famous ethical? Is it right? Is it moral? Is the suffering of children really worth our entertainment? Goddamn right it's worth it. Have you seen Stranger Things? That shit is amazing. Thriller's one of the greatest albums of all time. Alright, I'm gonna leave you with this. You guys like Hitler jokes? Yeah. You guys like Hitler jokes? You sick fucks. You committed genocide. How fuck if I did have a Hitler joke, it would go like this. Fun fact about Hitler, he was actually called Hitler because he was the greatest record producer of all time. Thank you. My name is Blake.
Get up for Mike Merritt! I believe some of these comedians are going to make it big time. Let's give a big time clap for this. Yeah. All right. We can move on to more than we have a halftime show. Right now we have Carlisle Forrester, we're going to have Cole Alexander, and then Bree Martin. Make sure we meet up here so we get the mic working, okay? So right now, Carlisle Forrester!
Right, let's get right into it, y'all. I am from Mississippi, and unfortunately I can never change that. You guys remember Mississippi, right? From your textbooks. That was the clean version, how racist it was. A lot of people ask me, was it racist? And yeah, you know what? The most racist person that I knew growing up was actually my grandmother. But y'all, she's dying now. So see, it's getting more progressive as we speak. No, but I remember my Nana specifically doing this one time. We were crossing the street, and there was this interracial couple crossing the street holding hands. And she goes, you see that right there? You see that? Granddaddy ever saw you doing that, he'd roll over in his grave. True. And that's why I sleep with half black guys, y'all. Because Granddaddy liked to sleep on his side. I'm just kidding. I sleep with full black guys. I hate my father. Let's get rid of it. What is the deal though with the black guys? You guys in bed are always saying this shit about, yeah, I'm gonna tear up that pussy. I'm gonna murder that pussy. I'm gonna destroy that fucking pussy. What the fuck? Like, how about use it gently and return it better than you found it? How about? Last time I slept with a black guy, it was like a war zone down there. Like, seriously, Toby Keith would have written patriotic songs about how this area was left. There was conspiracy theories that it was an inside job, too, so. What else can I tell you guys about myself? I'm sober. Does it really deserve all that when it's poured order? No, but I don't want to bring down the energy of the room because you guys are drinking and you're all handling it very classy. I did not drink like this, okay? I was a blackout drinker in my 20s, and it got so bad, I don't know what happened. And I'm literally asking, does that look familiar to anybody? So I'm trying to piece together a whole decade here. But I did notice one thing. I noticed that whenever you get sober, your vices always just switch. So I might have stopped drinking and stopped smoking pot, but I started smoking cigarettes and fucking married men. That's a lateral move there. Is it apparent yet why I'm single? Anybody? Because clearly I'm a catch, right? I mean, literally, I've got everything. You'll get it. No, but I know the real reason I'm single. It's because I'm not going to have kids, and I'm very adamant about that fact. Like, I have cats instead of kids, because I'm okay with having fucked up furniture, just not fucked up nipples, It's really weird to me how we change our sex organs to make our man's dreams come true, I just don't think that you guys would do it for us if the roles were reversed. Like, I want a TV show. Can you shit that out the head of your dick, sir? He's like, I don't know, maybe. How big's the cast? No, but I'm just saying, like, we normalize it. We're just used to it at this point. But it's a really weird thing. If you think about it, if the roles were reversed and you guys were supposed to beat the babies with the head of your dick, oh, that'd be so beautiful. Like, we're just, as women, we'll be at brunch, mimosas present on the table, and one woman will just whip her tits out, And her friends will always defend it, like, yes, that's Amber, she's breastfeeding, it's beautiful. Can you just imagine for a second if you're with your boys at a Buffalo Wild Wings? All of a sudden he's just like, no, turn the game on, I can still watch it. What, y'all never seen a man feed his boy with the head of his dick? Would the friends still defend it? Be like, no, don't give him a dirty little motherfucker. That's Andre. That's a circle of life right there. Is he still ordering from the waitress? Like, no, I'll get a beer. I just gotta pump first. Look, all I'm saying, y'all, is you would never hear a guy in the gym locker room being like, yeah, the head of my dick just ain't the same since Kobe came along. Right, that's gonna do it for me, y'all. Carlisle for us there.
Carlisle Forster! Giving us the facts of life. All right. So now we're going to have Cole Alexander. And then just to let the next person know, Jessica, when we come back from the break, you're going to be up. And then Daniel Magnin after the halftime with Bree and Martin. So right now, let's give it up for our last comic to have had a 5-minute break, Cole Alexander!
All right. Look, I'll be honest with you guys. I'm probably not going to win this thing. Speaking the truth, Look, I would kill to be good at something. Dude, Lou Gehrig was so good at baseball, he got a disease named after him. I don't know if you guys know this, but getting a disease named after you, highest honor in baseball. That's how fucking good he was. Even Magic Johnson wasn't good enough to get a disease named after him. He got AIDS, we all still call it AIDS. Even magic doesn't call it AIDS. I mean, I guess magic would have been a horrible name for AIDS. Could you imagine trying to prevent that disease in high school sex ed? So, hey kids, you gotta wear condoms now, so sex will not be anywhere near as fun because of this new disease out there called magic. You know, the thing none of you believe is real? It's a nightmare. I don't know, man. I hate when guys say shit to try to sound like they're progressive, you know? Like the other day, I heard a guy say that he can't be transphobic because he has sex with trans women. What the fuck are you talking about? That would be like me saying, oh, I'm such a feminist because I fuck women. Dude, I cannot penetrate my way out of bigotry. It's just not how it works, bro. I never heard a guy bragging about having sex with a girl and then like, this dude is so progressive. He wrecked that pussy for Hillary. That's not how it works. Also, look, I've had sex with a trans woman before, but it did not change the way I vote. I'm more progressive because of it now. Give me a little trans pussy. It didn't change my view on the Israeli-Palestine conflict. I don't know goddamn clue what that thing is about. Who knows? Who's fighting who? It's crazy. Oh my god. Like I am the straight man. We're all straight. Hurry up. I don't know why I always do that. I got it. No, I am straight, but I have a beef to pick with some of you straight men. Because some of you will not have sex with trans women, and I think that is bullshit. Okay? First off, like, dude, how long is your list of requirements for women to where you're like, oh yeah, they have to be born how I like them. Oh, you think they're hot now, but want to know what they look like in kindergarten? No, you can't see a yearbook photo, you creep. You know what, fuck it, have your women who were born with vaginas or whatever. Vaginas that apparently needed no financial improvement whatsoever. Like, oh, they only clean once a month. Yeah, that's better than none times a month. Okay. There's just no money. There's no money in cisgender pussy. That's all I'm saying. No money. Like next time I hook up with a girl, if she says something along the lines of like, "Oh, do you like my pussy?" I'm gonna be like, depends. How much did it cost you? Oh, nothing? Then get it out of my goddamn face. Thank you.
I think I need to go to the bathroom. Okay, so we're going to have a 5-minute break, okay? So we can set up the stage for the halftime, okay? 5 minutes. Okay, that's good. Okay, we're still on potty break. She's in the bathroom. Yeah, well, she might want to enjoy it. Okay, so let's get in place. Jesus Christ, where's that coming from? Okay, folks. You gotta get the judge's position. That's what I'm trying to start. Okay, so let's
halftime show. So right now, I would like you to introduce and have it come up, Bree and Martin!
Lost one. There you go. Yeah, DJ, spin that shit.
You Are Funny live show. Make some motherfucking noise. Nah, not yet. Don't play that beat yet. We gotta do a whole setup. And we ain't doing a goddamn thing till the other judges get here.
I teased you. I'm sorry. I said the trigger.
That was our bad.
I said the trigger word. I'm sorry. I meant to spin the shit that brother were out now shit. That's my shit. You were playing earlier.
Word.
Word.
Yo, so real talk. A lot of weird shit's happening tonight. You seen like one black dude.
Yeah.
Half a black girl.
A little white girl that likes to fuck black dudes.
I feel like I missed that part of the set because I was definitely not in the room when I heard that. I was in the bathroom, which South needs to clean. There was so much wetness on the men's bathroom floor.
Yours too? Yours too? Yeah. Cool. Cool. Sounds down to you. Very good. Welcome back. You guys are good. Welcome. These are the judges over here? Okay, cool.
You're all five.
Just five. Got it.
We ain't part of the competition, so don't like judge us based off of that.
I didn't catch the beginning.
Yeah,
so it's not necessary.
Yeah.
The rest of it is.
You didn't miss much.
Yeah.
You didn't miss much. I know that you're the judges, so I'm gonna do the whole thing directed to you. We're the outcome of the people who didn't make it in the competition. So they were like, do you still want to perform? So that's why we're
I had to pay for a red velvet cookie on my own tonight.
Directed everything. When they said Princess Diaries, I was like, I'm gonna do the whole set.
It didn't work for that other little white girl though.
Yeah, okay. This is cool. This is wonderful. This is good. There's a black dude on the show. There's white dude. There's no gay guys. Is there any gay guys out here?
Yeah, what are you
Well, yeah. But you're not in the show.
Yeah, you're in the show.
Bitch, I take my show everywhere I go.
So my show is the couch. That's my show.
You will be an extra. Call back.
Yeah, you need like that diversity. Yeah, I prefer just at least one like gay something on the show.
Yeah, but I mean, when you think about it though, everybody in the show tonight has been like a little bit gay.
Yeah. I think everyone's at least like 5% gay.
At least 5%.
At least 5%. I started dating girls recently.
A word? How's that going for you?
I didn't really want to. I just got drunk and I made the OK Cupid account and it asked me, it was like, do you like girls? And I was like, fuck yeah, fucking love girls. I told my mom that joke. She didn't think it was funny. She said, please tell me that the reason you're experimenting with girls isn't because of online dating. Please, for the love of God. I was like, no, Mom. Nah, see what happened was, this girl was walking, right? And she tripped. And her tongue accidentally landed on my clit. And then I accidentally came on.
Yeah, I had a similar experience recently. Yeah.
What's your story?
So these two girls were like, hey, if you and this dude make out, we'll make out. So then me and that dude made out. The end.
That's at least 6%, bro. That's not 6. Damn.
Yeah.
Alright. Yeah, man, I think everyone's 5%. Everybody in this room is 5%.
At least 5%. In fact, we wrote a little song about that shit.
Oh, yeah, we did.
Y'all want to hear that?
Hey, DJ Seth. Spin that shit.
Hey, yo, Mom, make some motherfucking noise.
Mom's on the line.
Hey, yo, we found out some scientific bullshit recently, right? That everybody in the whole world is at least 5% gay.
Just stop.
That means each and every one of y'all in this room, y'all down to get that boom boom. Here we go. Yo. It's scientifically proven we are 5% gay. 5% gay. 5% gay. I said it's scientifically proven we are 5% gay. 5% gay. 5% gay. I said it's scientifically proven we are 5% gay. We are We are. I said it's scientifically proven we are 5% gay. 5% gay. 5% gay. When you see you go dick to dick. When you see you go flip to flip. When you see you go dick to dick. When you see you go dick to dick. When you see you go dick to dick. When you see you go flip to flip. When you see you go dick to dick. When you see you go dick to dick. Let's go. Scientific. 5%. I'll suck a dick. Suck a dick. To pay the rent. I'll throw a hand. Put it in my mouth. I'm from Alabama. I know how to go down south. I'm down. We in this bitch. We all can sit. And that's her bitch. What we doing? Eating, sucking everything up. 5% bitch. Here we go. Scientifically proven we are 5% gay. 5% gay. 5% gay. I said it's scientifically proven we are 5% gay. We are 5% gay. We are. Let me see you go dick to dick. Let me see you go clip to clip. Let me see you go tip to tip. Let me see you go tip to tip. Let me see you go dick to dick. Let me see you go clip to clip. Let me see you go tip to tip. Let me see you go tip to tip. Let's go.
2 girls in the front row. I got them all in their asshole. I see your pink shirt, baby boo. You wanna have sex with this other dude? That's 5%. Maybe 65. I see your husband on the side. He didn't tell you, but I know it's 5. It's all hell. Sex tonight. Yeah, mama, it's only 5. Chill out. Don't hit me, alright? It's 5%. Other ladies say, I'm only motherfucking 5% gay.
We are 5% gay.
5% gay. 5%. That's 5 right there. 25.
We are.
5%.
We are.
5%.
We are. Let me see you go dick to dick. Let me see you go flip to flip. Let me see you go dick to dick. Let me see you go tip to tip. Let me see you go dick to dick. Let me see you go flip to flip. Let me see you go dick to dick. Let me see you go dick to dick. Let's go.
Hey. Hey, only 45 minutes left of the song, okay? Here we go. Okay, when I point to you, okay. Let me see you go dick to dick. Dick to dick. Dick to dick. Dick to, you can't hear me. Say dick to dick. Dick to dick. Dick to dick. Dick to dick. Hey. Okay, now.
That is scientifically proven we are.
5% gay.
We are.
5%.
We are. That is scientifically proven we are.
5%. Here we
We
go.
are. We are. I said it's scientifically proven we are. Everybody up. Everybody up. Everybody up. Let's see.
Let me see you go dick to dick.
Let's see. Go
Dick to dick.
Let's see. Go
Dick to dick.
Let's go
Dick to dick.
Let's see. Go dick to dick. Let's 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 go.
Yeah. That's right. Tuesday, I will come for you, but the mic doesn't reach. But pretend our plates are touching, alright?
Hey yo, does anybody want a peanut? Cause I want to bust it.
That's right, yo. My name is Bree.
I'm Mark.
Thank you, Michael. Thank you very much.
Guys, I'm sorry, but I couldn't resist. Just couldn't resist. Okay, so let's get back to just winning some money. All right, so now we're going to find out. We have Guess What Up. We have Guess
Oh my God, hello, my hole, it's so filled. It's Sal. Hi kids, I'm a local, I'm from here, it's weird, right? Like a unicorn. I'm from Hollywood itself, California. And I love being from Hollywood. I love watching people come to Hollywood and they look around and they go, oh my God, a movie was shot here. Because I walk around Hollywood and I go, oh my God, I was shot here. That's my story. And people go, oh my God, Jess, you were shot here. Oh my God, did it hurt? What does it feel like to get shot? It's so scary. And I always say the same thing. I don't remember. I was on a lot of PCP. And they go, PCP, what is that like? And I go, I don't know. I was on a lot of PCP. Like a lot. Like so much that I'm really happy to be here, actually. Yeah, I didn't pick to hang out with the cholos, you know. I was just in my locker, 7th grade, hanging out. This dude in a hairnet came up to me, you know, and he's like, what's up, Jessica? We've been watching you all boy, you're fucking crazy. It's like, now this is Froggy, listen up. Froggy. Does that tattooed deer mean you killed somebody? Because it's adorable. And he goes, yeah, but that was a long time ago. Okay, we're in 7th grade. So I hung out with the essays. I loved it. I loved the essays. Oh my God. I love such great senses of humor on these guys. The best sense of humor. And I realized why you have to have a great sense of humor, especially as a gang member, because you lose a lot of friends. Oh my God. Yeah, so they were really funny. One time we were getting ready to go out, and Froggy's girlfriend, Mousy, talked a little shit to me about my eyebrows. You know, she was like, Jessica, you need to pluck your eyebrows, and girl, you look like fucking Groucho Marx. Is there a gang member that's referencing a Marx brother in that house? I was thinking to myself, is there a fucking, like a garage in East LA somewhere where they're just arguing about the Marx brother? Just, have you heard that boy say his fucking voice was beautiful, fool? The Marx brothers. How the hell do you end up hanging out with cholos? Right? I was just minding my own business as a little hippie kid in Topanga Canyon. Oh my God, Topanga Canyon, they're still naked there. You know, like, they were very naked when I was raised. Very, very naked in my house. I'm pretty sure I breastfed off 5 different ladies. Hear it scream its love. You make this baby. Scary though, right? When you're a little girl, like running around and see naked adults, if you're looking for your dad, you're just like, Daddy! Daddy! Thank you so much.
Get him to guess what? Are you guys still happy? Are you still happy with comedy? All right, so let's move down the line. We have Daniel Magny next, Monterey Martinez, David Santofanti. We have Seth Lawrence and Gino Sanchez. So give it up right now for Daniel Magny.
What's up, guys? I'm one of the many other young boys Michael's trying to fuck. It's flattering, honestly, man. I don't get that much attention out here, so that's pretty great. They're all white, though. That's kind of weird. Broaden your horizons. Guys, I'm in a pretty good mood right now, man. My birthday just came by a couple weeks ago, and it was actually pretty cool because my grandparents actually got me weed for my birthday. Well, they just gave me money, but they didn't say what it was for, so just gonna fill in the blank on that check, Grandma. You know what I'm saying? My grandparents are really cool, man. They're both in their 90s. That's old, dude. Like, me and my brother went to go visit them for Thanksgiving, but my brother was like, hey, we should surprise Grandma and Grandpa with the visit. You know, let's just pop in without telling them we're coming. I said, are you out of your goddamn mind? You want to just pop in and surprise 2 90-year-olds? Like, that's not going to work out. Like, their last surprise was Barack Obama, and that never comes. No more surprises for Grandma. My grandparents were alive in the 50s, dude. That was a long time ago. I wouldn't be able to survive in the 50s. Like, I got into an argument with my friend the other day because he was like, man, I wish I could live in the 50s. Things were so much easier back then. But, like, that doesn't make sense to me, man. Like, how can you have an iPhone and drive a Prius and think that's harder than polio, segregation? That doesn't make sense. If I had a time machine, I wouldn't even be able to go back in time to the 90s and survive, probably. Like, because in any other time period, just to survive a day-to-day life, you just had to know some stuff, right? And guys, I don't know a single goddamn stuff. I don't know not one. When my grandpa was 22, he had fought in a war and had 3 children. The other day, I had to Google, how do I mail something? I was like, yes, UPS sticker, what are these letters? I don't know. Man, I should have got more high. People have had to know stuff back in the days. Like, everybody, just to get around, it was just common knowledge. People had to know to use maps, right? Like, I don't know how to use a map. If someone was like, hey, man, you got to get home, but using just this map, I'd be like, well, I guess I live here now. What's up? People used to have to remember phone numbers. Like, I don't even know my own phone number. Like, I got arrested one time, you get the one phone call home. I just dialed 911. I was like, yeah, no, this is the only number I can remember. You call my mom. Whenever I was a kid, I was super obsessed with television. Like, I would just watch TV like all the time, like to the point where I probably would have gone to a foster home if I thought they had a better cable package. Like, sorry, Mom, they got Cartoon Network and Nickelodeon. I'll see you in court. I'm out, bitch. But like, my favorite thing when I was growing up was always watching the commercials. You know, because especially like the commercials with real people, not actors. You know, it's like you can believe in what they're selling. Like, my favorite commercial ever, you guys probably remember this, it was like this real life homeless dude. And he's just like every day I scour the streets for change and sometimes I sell my body. And that's what I would do for a Klondike bar. I said, that is the greatest commercial I've ever seen in my life. And it's like, Klondike bars, they're dick sucking good. I was like, what? I guess I'm gonna have to show chocolate all over my face. Like, alright guys, my name's David Mack. That's about the young boys right here.
Let's give it up for Daniel Mack. Fun that boy. Now I know. Okay, so let's move on. So we have Monterey Martinez, David Santofonte, Seth Lawrence, Tino Sanchez, and then we're going to have a special judge comedian who's going to introduce our grand finale, Marie Valeriano. So right now, let's give it up for Monterey Martinez!
Hello, I'm a girl. Michael doesn't message me because I have a vagina. I'm a girl, so I feel like feminism is a hot topic that I need to talk about. Obviously, I'm for it, but there's a lot of like statistics that I have to memorize with feminism, and I'm like, I don't like that. I have a friend, she's like, do you know that 87% of women have been harassed at the workplace? I'm like, okay, do you know 100% of everybody hates when you talk like that? It's quiet time, it starts now. I also don't like compartmentalized feminism. If you support women, we gotta support all of them. My roommate is the kind of chick who will be at a grocery store and there's like a magazine cover of a hot woman, and she's like, ugh, this is the shit I'm talking about. And I'm like, what? And she's like, this doesn't support us. Women don't look like this. This doesn't represent us. And I'm like, yeah, that's why she's on the cover. Like, women don't look like that. She won. Do you get it? She goes on covers. You sell me ArcLight tickets. It's I do support women, but I have my own version. It's called witchcraft. That's how you support women. To me, it's like, do you want to write a blog devil involved? Or do you want to break glass when I'm talking? What works best for you? I feel like women aren't even competitive about feminism. They're like, did you go to the march? Why weren't you at the march? How come you didn't go to the march? And I'm like, I feel like a march is like an organized temper tantrum, you know? Like, we want Brazil back. And I'm like, I know the secret. Men don't listen to us. It's enough. I'm single. It's okay. I'm 32. Who's counting? Me. I'm single, and like, I guess like the best metaphor that I can put my single life into is I'm kind of bulimic when it comes to men. Like, I like to binge out. I'm like, ooh, I want this one. That one looks good. Never tried that before. And then I just hate everything once it's inside of me. Get it out! No, thank you. You talk too much. Do you know your dad? I don't. Secrets. Sometimes it gets lonely, you know, being in your 30s and being single, so I made up a little trick. You can try it if you want. What I like to do is I like to sleep with my warm laundry on my bed, and then I mold it into someone spooning me. And then I play Netflix in the background, and I'm like, somebody's kind of there. Use your smart brain. If you don't know you have a smart brain, cute. I am in my 30s, and I've noticed like some things are different being in my 30s. Like one thing is like being drunk now. Like in my 30s, like after I've been drunk, I wake up next to like McDonald's wrappers. In my 20s, I would wake up next to like an aspiring rapper. I mean, skateboard squeeze, true story. Yes, we played a Bitchy Vampires music video, and obviously I did it. I went and everything. I'm talented. Is anybody gay here? Show yourselves. Raise your hand. Are you gay? Michael? Do you know what the gays are doing? Because I do. They like to trick you and pretend they love you because they want to move in with you and save half on the rent. I had signs that my boyfriend was gay. Like anytime I was like giving him a blowjob, he'd be like, "Don't forget to put a finger in my butt." I didn't forget. I just don't want to do it. But as a woman, you do it because I want to get married. You gotta pretend to be cool. And like, he made me put my finger in his butt so often that you would think my engagement ring was planted up there. Maybe I just gotta find it. No ring, just ringworm. It's a love story. My last name is Martinez because my dad's a Puerto Rican. It's scary sometimes. It's okay, that means I'm Puerto Rican. Relax. I feel like whenever a white person says Puerto Rican, people are like, that's a swear word, right? It's a noun. Sometimes it can be an adjective if you're like, my guy was being all Puerto Rican, which means loud, or determined because they're poor, and they try hard. I lost you, perfect. But my dad is Puerto Rican, and one thing I learned about Puerto Ricans is they're abusive. They'll hit you until you cry. Okay, everybody's like, this is where it gets sad. Cute. No, but I did learn. I was like, oh, Puerto Ricans aren't abusive. It's just my dad. I was like, oh, I got the bad one. But it was adorable because he was an alcoholic. He missed, so it's fine. That was my set. Thank you very much.
Give it up for Monterey Martinez, Infamous Lester, David Centofanti, Seth Lawrence, Tino Sanchez, Tuesday Thomas, and our closer Marie Valeriano. So let's go right now for David Centofanti.
I've got a great body for stealing salami from Whole Foods. That security guard always has that look on his face like he may have come in with it. Half the time that's true, you know. Sometimes you get dizzy and you gotta bite into a salami. Just me? I think it's just me. I once saw a therapist because I wanted to find out why is it that I keep compulsively stealing so much salami. It turns out I suffer from the condition of being Italian. Yeah, it's in my blood. That's why I steal. Use your heritage as an excuse, is what I'm saying. Like my father's name is Luigi. Yeah, the Italian goes that deep. When I was born, he wanted to name me Mario. And here's the thing, he's not a nerd or a plumber. He just loved the name that much. My mother, though, nixed it immediately. Julia named me David. Comes from the German lineage. So while I want to feed you a meatball, I also hope you choke on that meatball. It's a love-hate thing. Spent a lot of summers with my Nonna. That's an Italian grandmother. She was amazing, although she wouldn't let me sit on the furniture. Yeah, there was plastic on it, and she was worried I was too fat and I would ruin it. Yeah, here's the thing. She would constantly be on me about losing my weight, but then she would feed me like big bowls of spaghetti. I'm like, I'm pretty sure this doesn't lead to skinny. Yeah, there's plastic on all the furniture, and I asked her why, and it was because of all the kids and the grandkids. And I was like, that's fair, you know, wrap it, keep it clean. Here's the thing though, isn't it weird that Italians wrap their furniture, but they don't wrap it before they tap it? So many kids, it's absurd. My Nonna was super progressive in the 50s. She didn't even take my grandfather's last name. But to be fair, it's because they had the same last name. Yeah, they were cousins. Italians. Yeah, it's wild. Great furniture, not the best genetics, let me tell you. Sectionals are great. Doesn't look like a fat kid's ever sat on them. But Uncle's eyes are really close together and he jumps at loud noises. I love my Nonna. She taught me opera growing up, and I actually went on to sing at Carnegie Hall. It was fucking awesome. Beyonce was in the audience, which was shocking. No one told us. This is the thing. If Beyonce's in the front row of the show, give your performers a heads up. Yeah, I was up on stage like, La donna in Moby, quel più movimento, there's Beyonce. What are the words? Her lyrics, they got in my head. Oh, the single ladies. Oh, she's that beautiful. I just was hearing her music. Oh, it's wild. I've seen Beyonce perform. No, I've never seen Beyonce perform, but she's seen me perform, which is wild. You know, I'm still not sure what it is she does. I hope to afford to see her one day. I'm like broke, so I can't. Yeah, I went to school for opera. Here's the thing, you don't need to go to school for opera. Yeah, you either do it or you don't. You know, you don't need someone to give you a degree that's like, hey, you're really loud. It's not something you need to do. And here's the thing, it's like people are always telling me, like, sing an opera for me. Like, I want to hear you sing it. And it's like, oh, it's like awkward situations too. Like, I took my grandfather to get a colonoscopy, and he's bragging to the nurse, and she wants to hear it, and I'm a whore for attention. So I'm there in the ER. This guy rolls out of the emergency room and he's like, did I die in there? The angels are singing. Right? They're a little heavier than I expected. Is he Italian? I guess the Catholics were right? No! That's weird. Things on earth are not going in the Catholics' favor. I was bullied a lot growing up. Kids would always call me things like a rotten tomato because I was fat and had bad acne. I'd go home to my Nonna and I'd be like, the kids call me a rotten tomato. And she'd be like, no, you're my fat, juicy tomato. Things are getting lost in translation. She's like, no, one day you're going to have a great body for stealing salami. Share this with you guys. I just saw in the news too that they're remaking Ghost. Yeah, the exact same cast. Yeah.
Give it up to Davis and Doratini, our operatic comics. Let's move on. We have Seth Lawrence, Tito Sanchez, Tuesday Thomas, and then our closing Murray. So let's give it up right now for Seth Lawrence! Man, what a show, huh? What a show.
And they wore corsets. Anybody miss the days they wore corsets? When did I lose you on this? I'm a stay-at-home dad, so actually things are pretty good for me. You know, I'm a feminist. Ah, boy. It's pretty sweet actually staying home with the kids. I didn't know if you guys know this, but kids actually like to watch TV. Did you know that? They don't care what I do when they watch TV. It's great. It works out very nicely. I'm also Mormon, and that makes Park Day awkward because it's just me, a bunch of women, and a bunch of kids that look like they could be mine. I don't know what you know about Mormonism, but when I show up at Park Day, it does not look good. You know? If I catch eyes with another guy there, I'm like, hey, dude, I know why I'm here. Why are you here? You unemployed? What's your deal? You know? And I think he's thinking, hey, if all of these are yours, you probably shouldn't be at Park Day. You know? Quality time with the family, you should be working. That's a lot of mouths to feed. I can't even support one wife. How am I going to support 10? You know? No thank you. No thank you. You guys aren't a kid crowd, I take it. Shocker. I am totally bewildered by that. Everybody talking about how single they are. Hey, try being a better person. You know? Try being a better person. You get married. Yeah. You just have to be a better liar. That's all it is. You're just bad liars if you're still single. They get it. Oh, man. The thing that bothers me the most is that none of the husbands text me. You know, to be like, hey, would you quit spending so much time with my wife? Nobody's threatened. Nobody is threatened by me. That hurts my feelings. You know, just one text would be nice. We're spending a lot of time. Anyway, I don't get it. The only time I've really felt like I have been threatening is when I dated and I walked a girl to her house, you know, because I'm a gentleman, and we'd hug or kiss or whatever, however well the date went, you know? And then she'd get in her house and she'd immediately lock the door. Has anybody been at this? I'm there, and I had the impression a couple times and thought, I never did it, but I wanted to jiggle the handle and be like, you're too quick. You know? Not over yet. Dinner was expensive, you know? That was it. Okay. Oh, man. I'm not very threatening. I think that's why when the end of the world comes, I just want to go to the epicenter. Wherever it is, I don't want to survive. You know, I've seen part of the walking pit. It does not look fun. And my physique, I'm not a warrior, right? I'm not winning that. I think that's why my wife keeps me at home. All right, guys, this was fun. Have a wonderful evening.
All right, we're writing down. So right now, let's give it up for Tino Sanchez.
Too old.
Hey guys, how you doing? So, Joe Biden fans in the house? Really? Okay, so we have a pussy grabber, and now we're gonna have a kid toucher. Great. Any Hendrix fans in the house? This is the creepy Joe Biden song. Hey Joe, what you doing with that little girl in your hand? Hey Joe, say what you doing with that little girl in your band? Going down to hang with R. Kelly. His daycare is second to none. Going down to hang with R. Kelly. It's the freaking weekend, baby, about to have me some You've been so creepy, Joe. That song is what happens when you smoke way too much train wreck while simultaneously listening to Oasis, while simultaneously noticing that Kanye's kids don't really look like him. Kanye hates Father's Day because he doesn't want to face the truth. By now, everyone around sees those babies don't look like you. Cause Kim will get down with anybody. Ask Joey Lawrence and Nick Lachey. Whoa. Black Pete, Black Pete, Black, Black, Black. Black Pete, the Urban Magazine said Kris Jenner turned her daughter out. That bid went to the highest bid and Paris Hilton shows out. Cause Kim will get down with anybody. Ask Reggie Bush, 50 Cent. All the gold she taken for the blinding. And all the whites she left behind be whining. There are many things she has done, including kid. Looks like easy. Kim's baby kinda sorta look like Ray J. Let the truth be known. I'm the more important shot. Maybe you should have kept an eye on Jay-Z. Kanye, don't be mad when your kids say, bitch, you ain't my dad. Sexy, can I just pardon my manners? See, she got famous for fucking Ray J, but nobody knows Ray J's song. That was a Ray J song. My name's Tito, thank you very much.
Hey guys, what do you think about all those comedians? What do you think? I started the show in September of last year, and there was a few key people who really came to bat to help me, and they were all in the scene. And one of them was Bill, right? Bill Devlin. And another one is the next lady, and I love her very much, Tuesday Thomas.
I don't mind helping Michael. I know he won't help me. Michael, listen, I don't mind. He spares no expense, doesn't he? We're going to light this on fire and he's going to jump through it later. Are you ready for that shit? Okay. Bill's going to hold it up. That one girl earlier, I think her name was Rose. She says she's 20. What did you say? You were 25 going through a quarter-life crisis? Is that what she said? Yeah. What makes that bitch think she's going to live to be 100? Okay, especially if she's complaining about problems at the age of 25, because people like us are going to come kill you, okay? You're not going to make it to 30, honey. I'm just saying, how are you doing? Good. Good, I'm glad you guys are doing good, because my life's a fucking mess! Seriously, I couldn't take your problems on, too. When I was 20, I looked like Wonder Woman. Now people just look at me and wonder if I'm a woman! You can laugh. I have mirrors at home. I know what I look like. I was on that show Botched. You know that show Botched on E? Uh-huh. You see, even Princess Diaries watches Botched, okay? So, yeah, I was on that show. I know what I look like. There's nothing about me you can't tell me that I don't already know. I know I look like if Where's Waldo and Joan Rivers had a hate fuck and together we could do it. And then let Peg Bundy raise that child. Okay, I know I got the ass of Kim Kardashian. And the voice of Rob, okay? I know my issues. People walk up to me all the time and they're like, are you a man or a woman? I'm like, yeah! So I have or the twinkle in his eye when I walk into the room, or that tone in his voice when he whispers sweetly into my ear, "I'm going to choke you the fuck out later." I mean, things like that, that's what makes the difference. But I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit about any of that other stuff. I don't even care if they're gay or straight anymore. Seriously, I have dated gay guys before. Not Michael, I don't want rumors to get started. So that's the one type I don't have. Okay? But I've dated gay guys before, and at first I thought, oh my god, that's a huge compliment. This is the last puss they want before they go suck dick for life. But then I thought about it, and I'm like, no, maybe this puss is what's making them go suck dick for life. And then one day I just looked in the mirror and I realized, oh, it's because they think I have a dick. I get it. I understand now. But I don't give a shit about any of that stuff. So, like, if I date a young guy, I get called a cougar. And I don't like that because I specifically don't just date young guys. Like I said, I do not give a shit about any of that. So I'm not a cougar. I'm more like a honey badger with a huge libido. No, you know what I am actually? Actually, I'm old-fashioned but lazy. I'm old-fashioned but lazy because chances are, if you're standing in front of me, you live less than 3 blocks away, and you make the first move, I'm gonna fuck you. And I'm gonna do it hard. 8 blocks away if you pay for the Uber. I'm just saying. It's the only covenant I have. Lesbians love me. I get hit on by lesbians all the time. And I don't get insulted by that. Why would you? You know, I'm not one of those people who are like, oh my god, Ty likes me. What makes me? Oh, what's wrong? That's bullshit. If somebody's attracted to you, you're not attracted to them. Take it as a compliment, say no thank you, and move on. It's that simple. So what happens is, she hits on me, I will look at her, and I will say, I'm sorry, I like dick, you do not have one, this will not work out. And, 9 times out of 10, she's like, that was really cool. You're an honest person. I like you're upfront, you're honest. I like you. We're going to be friends. Come on, let's go to the bar. Let me buy you a beer. I like you. I like all that. Do you need any shelves built? What do you need? Friends now, okay? Come on. You know what? You need to go to Ralph's and plenty of room in the Subaru for your grocery. I'm watching your dogs when you go on vacation. That's how much I like you. But there's always that one. There's always that one who's going to look at you and she's going to say, how do you know you don't like it if you haven't tried it? I'm like, bitch, look at me. Does it look like I haven't tried everything? Open your eyes, girl. I mean, if I hadn't eaten tacos, I would not know that cilantro tastes like soap. If I hadn't swallowed 14 Valiums, washed it down with 5 double vodka cranberries, I would never have discovered I do not like my stomach being pumped. I wouldn't know the importance of hair and teeth if it weren't for the mouth. I'm just saying. I remember trying it. I do. I remember she's lying there naked and I'm naked and I'm just like, why is yours upside down? Like, is this what I'm supposed to be doing? Tap, tap, tap. Is that working for you? Do you like that shit? Is that getting you off? Oh no, you want some moisture? We gotta get some water. Tastes like fish sticks. Oh. You like my mouth? You want my whole mouth in there? What the fuck? I'm here. I cannot do this. You're going to have to do me, but I'm so crossing it off the bucket list. I dated this guy recently, and after a couple weeks, he said to me, don't Google me. I want to be the one to tell you the truth. I said, finally, an honest man in life. He said, I've been away for a while. I'm like, Florida? he doing in China? He said what had happened to him was, he was in a gang, right? He was a strong arm money collector person, and he went out to do his job, and things went awry, and he ended up killing somebody. So he murdered. And I'm just like, Jesus. I said, what are you doing to yourself? You always pick these bad boys. You've got to do something with your life. You've got to fix this shit. You can't just keep getting into these situations. You need a therapist. But you're on Obamacare and that doesn't cover it. Maybe a life coach. You live in LA. You probably could get one in the bodega. Maybe more kale in your diet. You know what? The sex is good and you gotta go sometime. Let's just do this shit. So I dated him. But after a couple weeks, because I'm not stupid and I am a woman, I Googled him. Yeah, I did. He lied. Turned out what had happened was he kidnapped somebody, held them for ransom, changed his mind, let them go, and they turned evidence on him. So when I saw him, I was like, I fucking Googled you. I did it. I don't care. You lied to me. You lied to me. I cannot date you anymore. He said, oh my God. Would you rather I killed somebody? I'm like, hell yeah. At least that way I know you can commit and follow through with something in life. Oh my God. Well, I just want to say, if you like me, my name's Tuesday Thomas, and you can follow me home and fuck me because I'm lonely. Here's
Okay, so we have our closer. I want to thank him very much for coming. The reality is I saw him many, many times and I loved him. And when I heard that he was going to do the closing for us, I was very excited. So right now, let's give a big hand for Marie Galriano!
It must be back.
Excellent, sounds comedy hall, fun night, right? Yeah. That sounds like an audience that's been here since 7. Wake up, it's good to be here. Congratulations to whoever the winner is. You're about to announce. Good luck to you. Enjoy that $500. It'll be the most money you make in comedy for the next 6 years. Go ahead and use it, become a professional, go out on the road. Welcome to the world of the afternoon movie and alcohol. I am glad to be here. This is thank you so much for having me, Michael. This is literally an anniversary for me. This week last year, I had open heart surgery. Wow. I know, fucking hilarious. No, I'm not telling you guys that to, I don't know, get your sympathy or get your pity or anything like that. I'm telling you guys that to tell you this. I did everything right in my life. I've been a vegetarian for 25 years. I don't smoke. I don't do drugs. And I surf and I work out every day of my life. And my heart still took a shit. So basically what I'm saying tonight, I'm snorting coke off of cheeseburgers. The Millennials, what do you got? Fucking, I'm ready. Let's do it. Ecstasy. Who's got it? Ecstasy. I'm ready to do it. That's how old I am. I still call it ecstasy. What are you going to do? Molly. What a stupid name for a drug. Leave it to Millennials to ruin drugs also. Later on, do some Molly. Later on, snort some Roberta. Mainline some Priscilla. Who knows? It's fucking party night at Sal's Comedy Bowl. Melrose. I don't do drugs. Marijuana is legal now. It blows my fucking mind, man. But like, I can't smoke. It's too powerful. Like, I smoke pot now. I laugh for 5 minutes, then I cry for an hour. I want that at Mumford & Sons concert. I used to do drugs in the 80s. Right? You with me, brother? Right on? Me and you with the gray hair? All right. I used to do drugs in the 80s. That's when the drugs were good. It came with a warning, though, all those drugs back then. Don't do heroin, you could die. Don't do coke, you could die. Don't smoke crack, you can go to jail if you're black. No. Hey, I didn't make the fucking rules. Talk to Nancy Reagan. Fucking Google. I did that. Ooh, finally! Is that what's going on? I thought we just had a bad sound system. No, we're good. Great. Michael, now I gotta fucking start all over. What's up, Sal's Comedy Hall? This has been a fun night, right? Oh, that sounds like a crowd that's been here since 7 o'clock. Good luck to the winner, whoever that is, later. Enjoy that $500. It's the most money you'll make for the next 10 years of comedy. See if I can fucking do this. Well, yeah, then take it out and become a professional. And welcome to the world of the afternoon movie and alcoholism. So, yeah, I didn't get a laugh the first time either. All right, we all caught up? Where was I? Oh, I was doing acid in the 80s. That's right, that was my drug. Acid. Did you do acid, Michael? More of a poppers guy? Yeah, that's what it was on the gay scene back then. I didn't even know. I hope you're out, because 19 people just fucking outed me. I hope your parents aren't in the audience. We never knew. Just finished knitting them back. Shawl. Yeah, that's what I miss. I miss the acid of the 80s. You know what the warning for acid was in the 80s? Don't do acid because 25 years from now you could have a flashback. That sounds like win-win to me. It's been 25 years and I haven't had a flashback. Although tonight it's fucking close. Holy shit. Jesus Christ. So, this is fucking weird. All right, okay, I'm back. No, that's good. We got a red curtain. I'm home. $500. You could have 600. You could have won 600 if you didn't spend money on that mural. It's $100. You want to leave the time on there? Put up my phone? Yeah, just keep it on there. That way I'll remember the time I spent $100 fucking dollars. Maybe this is a fucking acid trip. What the fuck is going on? I have no fucking idea. I haven't been around. Somebody who's a stay-at-home dad in here. I've been around my 7-year-old all day today. You're the first adults I've talked to. So let me just say this. Fuck. Because I can. Because I can now. I couldn't say it from 7:45 to 6:45 tonight, so I can say it now. Fuck. God, I had a chaperone. I know you're young, you don't have kids, just fucking pay attention. Take some notes. I had to chaperone my kindergarten trip to the LA Zoo 2 weeks ago. It was fuck. It was me and 25 yoga pants moms, just fucking running around, doing everything but yoga. And just fucking yoga pants. Just fucking, god damn it. Why are you still wearing yoga pants? 2019. Why are you still? You're not fooling anybody. Trust me. You're not fooling anybody. And I don't know if you know this, ladies, when you bend over, those Lululemon stretch, and you can see your ass cheeks.
You're welcome.
Let me see your ass first, bitch. Wow, that got really uncomfortable. Now I'm going to get my ass kicked by a millennial. That's going to be embarrassing. You have to ask Michael to follow me out to my car. No big feet. There's 9 people in here. I pissed off 8 of them. Okay. Where was I? Oh, I was talking about acid. Oh, right. Yeah, acid's great. I was waiting for that flashback, though. You know what's funny about doing acid in the 80s? The guy I used to do it with? He's now an airline pilot. Enjoy that, American Airlines. I'd like to be there for that acid flashback. That'd be fantastic, wouldn't it? This is your captain speaking. We're at 35,000 feet, or at least I am. Let's go ahead and take this down on Melrose. Here they're doing some Priscilla.
Oh.
Did you guys get the vote in?
I did.
You did? How many more people do I have to wait for before I can get out of here? I've already irritated half the audience, Jonathan. All right. Fortunately, I get to see somebody's ass tonight, so that's what I'm looking forward to. That's going to be great. At least you got an ass? I don't have one. And we'll get you some butt ups. There's some lift ups. I don't know what you're doing. You guys have kids? Yeah, how many? Two. One of each? Yep. One of each, motherfuckers. I guessed that. 50-50 fucking chance on it. It's really no big deal. Boys, girls? Boys or girls? One of each. I'm getting to it slowly. One of each. How old? 4. Girls 4, boys 7. 4 and 7. Good for you. What's the most important thing about being a parent? I'll tell you. Gotta be a better dad than your dad, right, Michael? Yeah. I'm trying to be a better dad than my dad, but it's kind of hard. My dad was a Southern Baptist preacher. Thank you for that support. Okay. Whenever I tell people my dad was a Southern Baptist preacher, they always say the same thing. Your childhood must have been weird growing up. But to be honest with you, my childhood was just as normal as every one of your guys' childhoods, except I probably didn't get as many toys as you guys got, because my rewards are waiting for me in heaven. So I don't know about any of you, but apparently when I die, I'm getting an Atari 6400. So suck on that, Jews. In your face. This is my weekend off. I'm heading out on the road next week. Going to North Carolina, motherfuckers. That's the proper response for that shithole. Oh, anybody know what's going on in North Carolina right now? Apparently, only boys can go in boys' bathrooms, and only girls can go in girls' bathrooms. Yeah, guess what, North Carolina? I'm a dude. I'm going outside. Make all the fucking rules you want, all right? I gotta let this thing out and go anywhere. But I guess they're raging out against the transgender community, which pisses me off because I'm a living let live kind of guy. I don't care how you live your life. As long as I don't care if you're transitioning from a man to a woman. I don't care if you're transitioning from a woman to a man. I don't care if you're transitioning from a man to a woman back to a man because you realized how good you had it to begin with. But I will say this, and I mean this from the heart, and I don't want to get too heavy on this show, but anybody, and I mean anybody, who is fighting for their rights to use a men's bathroom has never been inside a men's bathroom. Oh my God, that shit is disgusting. Oh, you want to settle this argument? Let's go to the Shell station over here on La Brea, all right? Argument over. Grab that key that's connected to a fucking cinder block or something and just... I just want to bathe. Why are men's bathrooms so disgusting? Always. Sal's, not great either. I'm telling you, it is not... The high school, my bathroom in my high school, awful. We snuck into the girls in 11th grade in their bathroom, and it was like, dude, it was pink. There was incense, a foyer, some sort of bagel toaster in there. There was a girl on the couch just in case you need somebody to talk to. There was a machine on the wall. You put quarters in, white fluffy things came out. It was fantastic. You go to my bathroom, men's bathroom, first of all, no doors on the stalls. Nope. Toilets haven't been flushed since Hands Across America. And the writing on the wall was the most hate-filled, racist, homophobic hate speech. Men's bathroom walls are the original YouTube comments. Just the most racist, hate-filled. You know what? That's got to be the only reason Donald Trump wants to build a wall. Right? Just so he can spray paint Hillary's a whore on it. And of course, the asshole spells it wrong. You know, there are no H's in whore. I know H's, and I know whores. There are no H's in whores. Nobody knows whores more than I know whores. There's no H's in whores. Am I supposed to get off now? Please. You gonna show me your ass too later, motherfucker? Wow, hey guys. Comedy is hardball. Grow some fucking cups, will you? Alright, thanks a lot.
Get up and Mary Brown Yellow. Alright, folks. We have an opportunity now to go over the winner. And I would have the judges come up and announce. Because we have a winner. We have a new winner. So we have the judges want to come up. But first, I want to give up. So there was a film festival earlier. Okay. Let me get the announcement. Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. Yeah, we had a film festival. Okay. So we had a film festival earlier, and we wanted to have some films that were original, that were a little different than we normally see, something that somebody worked hard to make, and we have reviewed 16 films, and we have one winner, and it was kind of hard, but I chose Wrinkles. You guys can come up and introduce yourself. So, I don't know what was going on, but there had a chance to see it. It was pretty funny, guys. You guys made me laugh. And how we judged it was we saw who had the most laughs. And you guys actually, although you were laughing in the audience the most, it was great. So give them a big hand for that.
I gotta tell you guys, these guys that did this film, they played two old Jewish people. And at first it was like, and they didn't do much. They just threw on a wig and they're like, I know so old Jewish. And at first, in watching the movie, you're like, what? Really? No makeup? No special effects? How am I gonna, like, and at first, you're like, your mind is like trying to wrap it. By the end of their film, you're like teary-eyed about this. It's hilarious, it's funny, it's tear-jerking. Like, they pulled you in their world. Like, you believe he was an old Jewish woman, like they're an old couple. It's amazing what these two did with this film. So I think you guys are gonna really go places. That was great. That was amazing. I had a conversation about that. That was great. The rest of the judges coming up here, they're all mad because there was like a judge fight back there. Pizza was being thrown. It was a crazy judge fight. And we all, as judges, we feel strongly about the person, and that's how good you guys did. So I think we all deserve a round of applause. I mean, we had a hard time just narrowing it down, and then it was judge fight after that. It was like everyone had their favorites, and yeah, it was amazing. So I'm going to bring up, I'm going to bring up a handful of people like we usually do, and one of you guys is going to win $500. And what should I bring up?
I want to say something about this. I purposely picked 5 judges because I knew it was going to be hard. I started noticing how everybody was stepping up their game, and they were really coming doing great shows, and so that's why I didn't want it to be on me. So I want to give you guys one big hand again. I'm really proud of you. Mike can be proud of you. It's a great show. And if you didn't pick 5 judges, there'd still be a judge fight because we needed the tiebreaker judge. So I'm going to bring up Liam M. You guys, 9 minutes. Come on up. And Anya. I'm like Michael now. Anya Malik. Come on up. Let's Daniel Macton. Monterey Martinez. Like everybody. Jeff Wood. And Tino. Is it Tino or Tino? It is Tino. Tino Sanchez. Come on up. You guys, I gotta tell you, really, any one of you could have won. Between all us judges, everybody had our favorites, and people were fighting for each and every one of you guys. So just know that it was this close. I know that's not gonna make you feel any better because one of you is gonna have $500 and the rest of you. But really, these guys, let's hear it for these guys. I mean, it was a great show. These guys' performances were amazing. I mean, it was really, I can't say any more than that. It was amazing. But,
the others.
And the others, well, yeah, everybody.
fantastic. I mean, you guys are all in the running. Everybody was not one bad, like, we were like, okay, rate your comics, blah, blah, blah. Everybody's like, everybody's like the top of the list. How the hell am I doing?
We're splitting the prize.
You guys are,
By the way, I suggested that.
yeah. There was a suggestion of splitting the prize money, but we realized that's not up to us. We can't decide that. So unless you want to split it with me, anybody want to bribe me? This is the final show where I will take bribes. Okay, so here we go. The name of the show is You Are Funny. We picked one comic who we felt had the best set of the night. It was not a unanimous decision. Everybody unanimously picked all of these guys. Okay, these guys are all unanimous, but it was really tough. It was so close because these guys had so much. But tonight, Monterey Martinez, You Are Funny! I'm gonna get up. I'll leave it to Michael. Okay, everybody. I really want to thank you very much for coming, supporting our winner, and they'll be back next week with no Mike. So we'll be there hopefully the week after. So thank you very much, everybody.
How you ain't gon' fuck? Bitch, I'm me. I'm the goddamn reason you in VIP. CEO, you don't have to CID. I'm young, wild, and strapped like Chi Ali. We ain't got nothing to